Yeah, I would have a number of questions, but since we only have one, I would ask Professor Turner. You, in talking about the unitary executive, I mean, one of the criticisms that Professor Watts provided was that, in fact, in the area of foreign affairs, we have an expression, a delineation of power to the legislature in the Constitution. But I think more importantly is the fact that in Article 2 itself, we have some enumerated powers that are given to the president, such as to receive ambassadors and consuls. This would be completely superfluous language if, in fact, it were true that they understood that all executive authority, all authority for foreign affairs vested in the president. There's no need to, in fact, articulate any power that would exist in that president because it would just be by virtue of his office itself.
I think Chief Justice Taft in 1926 in the Myers case got it right in noting the special enumerations were not detraction, but some of them are, in fact. For example, the president has the power to make treaties with the advice and consent of the Senate, requiring a 2/3 vote. That gives the Senate a part of what would otherwise be the executive power. Same with nominations. There's the key. I showed you some slides. What we have for the argument that the language, the executive power shall be vested in the President of the United States, that was supported by the first president, who was also president of the Federal Convention, the heads of both political parties, Washington and Jefferson, all three authors of the Federalist Papers, Madison, Hamilton, and Jay, the first Congress in supporting these views and passing laws saying, here's money, Mr. President, tell us how you spend it if you think it can be made public. There's an overwhelming case, and again, I had 15 minutes. I just scratched the surface. There was a long history going up in all three branches to the Vietnam War, understanding that that one clause gave the president the general control over foreign intercourse, except for the exceptions that were vested in the Senate or in Congress, which were to be construed narrowly. So, this idea, I love this. I learned in the 4th grade. That's part of our problem. We've all learned, oh yes, powers are checked and so forth. But as the court noted in Curtis Wright, foreign affairs is different. And more importantly, as the founding fathers noted time and again, foreign affairs was different. They did adopt a Lockean system with some checks.
Okay.
David, if you'd like to take one more question, we can.
Okay. Why don't we do that? Because again, this is more about you than it is about us. All right.
Hi, my question is for Professor Watts. I think because of time, you didn't get to finish your thought on if it is not unitary executive theory, what is it? And so I'm interested to hear whatever you came up with last night in your hotel room. If it's not unitary executive theory, under which this administration was acting, then what is it? What was it?
Yeah, I think what occurs is that perhaps unitary executive theory isn't a monolith. That even within the community of a unitary executive theorists, there are differences. And so if one were to say, well, what you saw from 2001 to 2006, perhaps, and I choose that cutoff date because of the Hamdan decision, which I think is really important. What you were seeing there wasn't real unitary executive theory. Well, John Yoo has been writing ever since that, no, it really was. That was it, and I meant it. All those memos, he hasn't backed down from any of those memos, so I think clearly he thinks very differently perhaps from Professor Turner. I mean, Professor Turner went to great lengths there to show where he did depart from fellow unitary executive theorists. The normative question, which I think the rest of the conference is really well set up to address, is, well, okay, if what you got was unitary executive theory, are you happy with it? I think some would say, well, we haven't been attacked. That in some senses, unitary executive theory was the proximate cause, to borrow the term again, of our being safe for these number of years. Others would say that no, that's only a short-term safety, that it's a myopic version of safety. So, I trust that the rest of the conference will do a very good job of helping us assess that normative question.
Okay, well, I only have one duty left as moderator, and that's to ask you to help me thank our panelists for a great opening to the symposium, okay?